Back to my channel. Today I want Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to give a quick Minecraft 1.17 build idea and build hack type video. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about are these new azalea bushes. Now, I don't think anyone's really realized this yet, but they look like awesome hedges, right? You can either have flowered hedges or unflowered hedges, and just really, I think it'll be much nicer than like the typical like leaves that we typically do nowadays. I mean, look how much better this looks than that. So I'm really excited about how people are going to use these in the future. Now, next update little thing here is I really like these new amethyst crystals. Now, they come in different sizes, like medium, and I think this one's a large. They also come in a small as well, but that's kind of irrelevant. And they really look like great water lily flowers. So what I like to do is I basically put a warped trapdoor down, and then we'll put like an amethyst on it, and that makes it look like a really nice flower. Now, I also kind of like this small drip leaf plant here. It's basically a water version of the big drip leaf, and it looks great as like a water plant. In fact, it has to be in water, but really going to help with the build immersion for ponds and whatnot. Now, candles are a big part of this new update, and there's a lot of things you can do with them. So here I made some kind of like cattail like plants using two green stained glass panes and just a brown candle on top, and those look really good, and I'm really happy with how those turned out. Now, probably the thing I'm most excited about in this update is this new moss block. Now, moss is basically like grass but better, and it's got this like its own little carpet here, which allows you to add depth to your builds, which is what I kind of built it around this pond here. And I can't wait to see what everyone uses this new block for. In fact, if I come over here, I kind of incorporated it with some green terracotta and brown terracotta. And this kind of build style looks great, and I'm really excited for it. Now, kind of going back to these candles here, they look like great little like mini plants that are either like, green or brown. And going to be great for flora and fauna for your builds. Now, I had a really hard time figuring out what I could do with this pointed dripstone. It seems like there's a lot of things you can do with it, but personally I struggled a lot to find things to do with it. And one of those things that I figured out that I really like is I like to kind of use it as little like rocks and everything. Now, in fact, I kind of did that a little bit over here. Now, this is kind of getting into two new blocks, which is the rooted dirt and the hanging roots. Now, when I was first looking at this like hanging roots block, I thought it was actually like worms coming out of the ground, and now I really just can't unsee that. So I'm sorry if I've like damaged you guys forever, but I really kind of like it because you can like hang it upside down in caves and everything, and give it a little bit more like atmosphere and everything too. Some of like the underground builds you might have, for example. So I'm excited to see how these two blocks are going to use in the future. Now, coming over here, we gotta have yet another example of why candles are the greatest thing to happen in Minecraft since upside down stairs. Now, just by taking like a little end rod here and putting it upside down like so, you can actually put just a candle on top of that, and it looks like a sword going into the block, like just like a sword going into the ground. There's really nothing else to talk about there. But this is like really popular on Reddit, and I just absolutely love how it looks. Now, I had the great idea to try to do this with the lightning rod, and it doesn't look nearly as good, but I tried, so moving on. Now, I really like these spore blossom plants. They basically have this kind of cool particle effect where they're just dripping down, just like these green leaves here. Now, for whatever reason, I figured that would be a great looking shower, even though the water would be green here, but I just love the particle effect too much, and I really want to take advantage of it. And it also kind of looks like a shower head, though a very colorful one. Now, a lot of people have been using these lightning rods as like fluid pipes and whatnot, and I kind of use that exact same thing here, and basically just had a copper rod coming down, acting as like a pipe, and I think it looks really nice, and I'm really liking how this is how that looks all together. Now, another great thing about candles is that you can actually put a candle on top of a cake, which is just awesome. I'm absolutely in love with this. And by the way, to activate a candle, to make it like have to like actually light it, you just take a flint and steel to it, click it like that. Now, one real quick thing here is that if you have your particles turned off, so if I go here, I turn my particles to minimal, you're no longer going to see like the little flame animation. Though, oh, if you can tell, this is like a little bit lighter than this guy. And you can also hear the sound too, but I figured I'd go ahead and let people know. Because like with torches, for example, they have like the light kind of coming off of it like this. So you can always tell that it's on. But with candles, I think this could be like a really big point of confusion. So I'm kind of hoping that Mojang will like put like, if a candle's lit, it'll like light up the 2 pixels there, but we'll see. Now just to go turn this back on. Perfect. Now, if you put a piece of bamboo into a flower pot, and then you can put a brown candle on top of that to basically make like a cattail inside of a pot, which I think is great. Now, this is obviously what the dripstones are going to use most for. I don't really need to talk about it, but I think everyone here knows exactly what I mean here about what's going to be happening and all the trolls that are going to be going on. And I'm going to absolutely be hating it for the next 10 years of my life. Now, going back more to candles here, you can kind of put them on fences like this to kind of give your fence some more physical dimensions to make it look a little bit more detailed. And it looks okay. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think a lot of people are, so I went ahead and left it in. Now, these candles, something that you might, since they have like so many different little applications that you can use them for, you kind of forget that you can actually use them as, you know, candles and just like light up a shelf or just have something to put on a shelf, you know, just to kind of have something, some sort of block to place down is just great for these types of things. Because when I'm building like mega builds, for example, I always have the hardest time figuring out how to vary my shelves and everything so they don't all look the same and they all look a little bit different. And I think this update with all the different color candles, I mean, they have a candle for every single color in Minecraft, so it's going to make decorating interiors a lot cooler in my opinion. Now, they can also be used as stems for plants. Now, I've seen a couple of people kind of like, dang it, kind of like put stems on like melons and everything like this. But one thing I haven't really seen a lot of is people using different colored stems on the same plant. So like, for example, I have a lime candle here and a green candle here, and they make the melon block look completely different. Like this looks like a more healthy melon than this melon. And if I use that, and if I apply that exact same thing to pumpkins, like this pumpkin looks really bad, this pumpkin looks really good, and this pumpkin's like somewhere in the middle. And that's just by using like yellow, orange, and just regular candles here. Now for a cactus, you can put a candle on top of it like so, and basically kind of create a little flower at the top of the cactus, which is something I'm really excited about. I really like this because cactuses always kind of had this kind of like boring look to them in my opinion, but now just doing something like this can give the cactus so much more authenticity and so much. It just makes it look so much cooler, man. I don't know what else to say about it. Now, coming over here, I kind of use candles as like little plants on grass. Now, by using the black and red candle, you can basically do the exact same thing, but for the nether. So, like, these candles look exactly like plants here that you might find in the nether. So, kind of a different application there. You can even light them maybe to give them some light, because everything on the nether is on fire. So, I think you could kind of pull that off. So, I'm just all in all just really excited to see how people use candles, because there are just so many different applications for them. Now, coming over here, I kind of used copper, or lightning rods, I keep calling these copper pipes. I kind of use them for piping over here, and I'm basically doing that exact same thing here. So like, say I have like a thing of water here, the water would travel through these pipes into different objects. So here I have like a blast furnace, if you wanted to make like a steam boiler or something. But I'm really excited to see how people kind of use these to pipe things. Now, one thing about it is that you can't like connect them like that. You have to like put some sort of block here to kind of like connect them. So that's the only thing I'm kind of sad about, but all in all, really excited to see how people use these. There's a lot of different ways you can use them. You can put them on like spikes, like over here, for example. And there's just a lot. It's just one of those blocks that I have a feeling that people are going to find a lot of different uses for. Like, I've seen some tables, I've seen some like chandeliers with them. So really cool block here. Now, I tried to make a couple of different lamp designs using these, like just a regular lightning rod like this. It looks like a great holder for a candle like this. And even an upside down one has like a pretty seamless transition, so I really like that as well. Now, I tried to make some other types of lamps here. Like I tried to make like one of those like 6-foot tall all lamps that we have like in real life. I tried to make those here. I don't really like how these turned out, but they're okay, I guess. Now you can also put a lantern on one of these too. Now, kind of want to move on from that. And something I noticed about candles is that you can put them underwater. And when you do that, they look like really cool, you know, more like plants for your fish tank, for example. So you can do a lot with those here. Kind of add some more variety to your fish tanks and everything. I figured I'd go ahead and throw that in there because I thought it was a really cool little idea that I came up with here. They're kind of like sea pickles, but like way thinner. And I did not expect you to be able to do that, so I'm just really excited about that as well. Now, coming over here, the first thing I was trying to do is I tried to figure out what to do with this tough block. And I couldn't find anything to do with it at first. Like my first thought was to make some paths here, which look decent, but I don't think I would ever actually use this type of block pattern here. Now, then I decided to work my calcite a little bit, and what I'm really excited about with the calcite is that it works really good with birchwood. Now, my only complaint about calcite is that it doesn't have any stairs or slabs or anything, so it's going to be a little bit harder to build with until those are added. But I feel like they'll be added sooner rather than later. But going into that, when I first saw calcite, I was first thinking clouds, right? And I had done this massive time lapse a couple months ago where I made these giant clouds. You can find it further back on my channel if you take a look. And I probably spent about 5 hours in a single player world trying to figure out how to exactly build clouds. And this block looks absolutely perfect for just white fluffy clouds. And I'm definitely going to be using this combination in the future. Now, when I was building clouds, I kind of realized that the tough block looks like a really good kind of dark stormy cloud. So that's kind of one application I could see for it. So like you could have like your white nice clouds here, and then your stormy clouds here with the tough block versus the calcite block. So for now, that's the only building application I can see for tough. Now coming back down here, I figure we'll probably see a lot of like walls with light gray candles on them in castle builds and everything for a little while, because they kind of make a good kind of pointy thing here. So I think we'll see some more builds like that, but figure I'd go ahead and throw those in as well. Now, coming over here, when I was working on the pointed dripstone, I realized that they were like a really good horn or a really good tusk. So for example, I made a little quick walrus face here and just put the little pointed dripstone here, and they look like great tusks for just little micro builds like this. You could also do this with like a rhino or something, for example, or like something with really sharp teeth, for example, like a dragon or something. So really excited to see how people use these in organic builds. Now, one of the things I'm most excited about is this glowing lichen block. So what's nice about it is that it's basically a light source. And I was just flying around caves when I first got this update, and I would see like little light sources like these. And what I like is that they're not as prominent as like glowstone or torches, for example. Like even here I put some behind my house here, behind the hedges. You don't even know that they're there, but they provide a good amount of light. So really excited to see how this works. You can put these on like any surface. You can put them on like vertical walls. You can put them on the ground. So really excited to see what people do with those. Now, that's really all I have to talk about today. The only real thing I'm also really excited to see in the build update is the caves and the new build height limit. I'm really excited about the new build height limit. I built a lot of like organic projects that you can find on my channel as well. And like, in fact, my last video was a lizard mega build that it took me forever to do. But just having that extra like 64 blocks is going to just make my life a lot easier and just allow me to put a lot more detail into my builds. Now, a type of build that I think we're going to start seeing more and more of are these like underground like village type builds. In fact, I'm thinking about starting a series about one where you basically just make a like a little village or anything, but just completely underground. Like make a mining village but underground, because you guys just have so much open space in the caverns. But anyway, that's the end of my build hacks, build ideas video. If you like this sort of content and want to see more like little build hacks in the future, just go ahead and let me know. Comment, subscribe. I obviously appreciate any sort of feedback as well. And I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good night.